What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you are new to the channel, just know I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail or title of this video, in today's video I'm going to be talking about how the Charlotte Hornets defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 91-80 in their third summer league game, and it looked great. The defense turned into offense this game, and they kind of talked about that in the broadcast with CJ McCollum, who I actually liked. I thought he was a pretty good broadcaster, but that's what they talked about, and that was 100% true. So in the first game, I don't know if you've seen that video, but basically I was just talking about the lack of hustle with the whole team. And then the second game, they brought the hustle, but not intensity. They were hustling, but you know, there's a difference between hustle and intensity. And then today, they brought the hustle and intensity. Everybody was moving, everybody was defending, they were switching, and then on offense, everybody was running and hustling. And that's all I ask for, win or lose, especially in summer league. Well, I'd rather have it in the real games too, but I'm just saying in summer league, it's like the least you could do. And they did that today, and I'm very proud of the team. And guys who the standout guys to me were Mark Williams, Ty-Shon, and Bryce McGowens. So let's start off with Bryce McGowens. So Bryce McGowens is a bucket. There's not really much to say about that. I have a player profile about him, so go check that out on my channel. I'll probably put a card right here. But Bryce McGowens is a bucket, so he was able to hit step-back threes. He was able to dribble penetrate. He was able to take on contact, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to take on contact, going to the rim, and he was hitting his shots. That we knew that already. I think Bryce McGowens is someone who the two-way might not be enough. Bryce McGowens could be a real problem in a good way for this team. He's just very effective offensively. In defensive, he's no slouch either. He's not Kawhi Leonard or anything like that, but Bryce McGowens can hold his own. He's got the size, and it looks, as the days go on, he plays better and better defense. And I think the whole team is playing better and better in defense. And that's just a huge plus, and great job by the summer league coach, who I forget his name right now. But yeah, Bryce McGowens looked good on both sides of the ball, but on offense, he was a bucket. And that's kind of what I want to see in Summer League. If you're good at something, I want to see that showcased in Summer League, and that's exactly what we saw. So even if his defense was atrocious, and it wasn't, but I'm just saying, even if it was, I wouldn't be mad, because he comes in as this guy who's like this all-around scorer. He's just not super athletic. Well, in this game, he was an all-around scorer. So I really like what I saw from Bryce McGowens. So, and then next we're going to talk about Ty-Shon. So Ty-Shon has had an up and down summer league. Basically, what I was just saying about how if you're in summer league, I want to see you play to your strength. He wasn't playing to his strengths until today. They moved him to the 5. He was coming off the bench because Nick Richards wasn't playing anymore, which I don't know what that's about. We can talk about that later. But yeah, anyway, Ty-Shon, he was coming in, playing backup 5, and he looked great. He looked great on defense because he was able to switch everything. He was playing with intensity on defense, which I think he always does. It's just a matter of IQ issues. But I mean, I don't think there was one time where he kind of tried to go coast to coast and it didn't work out for him. But he was getting anything he wanted underneath the rim. And Ty-Shon he has all the talent in the world. He just needs to find a way to put it together. And today was one of those days where you really see what Ty-Shon can be. If he can play to his strengths and just develop a better basketball IQ, he will be a problem. And I know some people still say he's still tiny, but he's so athletic that it doesn't matter. I don't need him to be shooting threes, you know. He can take a jumper for all I care. But the way his presence is in the paint is ridiculous on both sides of the ball. And then also on defense, he can switch. Like, he was switching on to guards. And like I said, he wasn't like pressing them or anything, but they had to pass up the ball. They weren't able to just fly by Ty-Shon. So I really like what Ty-Shon did today. He looked very impressive. If he can just realize what he's good at, like today, Ty-Shon, I don't even know what to say. He can be a great player for sure. He just got to realize his strengths and stick to it. But then also develop your game, but just, you know, emphasize on what you already do so well, what you're naturally good at, it seems. Just keep doing that, and he'll make the team and then go on from there. And then lastly, we're going to talk about is Mark Williams. So Mark Williams, he brought so this whole time on defense, he's been what the Charlotte Hornets need on defense. He may not get every steal. He may not get every block. He may not get every rebound. And I'm not saying that as in he tries to go for the rebound, drops it. No, what I'm saying is he is going to fight for the ball. If the ball is not in someone's hand, Mark Williams is near it, and he is definitely going to make it difficult for the person on offense, because there was plenty of times in this game where he was just tapping the ball, or he had blocks, and Ty-Shon too. But Mark Williams just had blocks. He was tapping the ball. He was creating loose balls, trying to get a loose ball. Mark Williams, I'm sorry. Mark Williams was just doing very well tonight on the defensive end of the ball. And that's what, that's kind of what we got him for. But we can transition to offense where on offense, Mark Williams was finishing like we wanted him to. I think there was one time, I think the oop, he was trying to dunk it. And then, he still got it in there. But, we all wanted that dunk just because Kai Jones was having all kinds of crazy dunks in this game. Well, just powerful dunks. And, Mark Williams just looked really good on offense. He looked more in his element. And then you can only just imagine what it's going to be like when he has someone like LaMelo passing him the ball. Mark Williams I know a lot of people are saying he was a bust because he's not Jalen Duren, but I always thought he was more ready than, Jalen Duren. I'm not saying Jalen Duren's going to be bad or anything like that. I like Jalen Duren too, but I've always felt like Mark Williams was the more just ready, and he looked like that tonight. And I can only imagine what it's going to be like him playing with Melo, and still, as great as the team was playing today, even still have more spacing. I think Mark Williams is going to be a force to reckon with. He was definitely just going up and dunking it, and that's what we need from our center position. So shout out to Mark Williams, shout out to Kai Jones, shout out to Bryce McGowens, but shout out to everybody else too, because we're about to go down the list and talk about everybody. So Jello does what Jello does. LiAngelo Ball is just, he's a hustler and he shoots, and that's what he does. And I don't know, it's almost to the point where you don't know who to even put on a team anymore when you have everybody showing so much value. And so you got to keep Jello around for sure for Melo, but it's not like he's not good. Jello can shoot the lights out, and Jello is he's an aggressive defender. I'm not saying he's the best defender, but he's an aggressive defender. He's going to give it his all, and I really like that from Jello. And he's not afraid to put it up. His release is so fast, but it goes in. So there's no need to even just talk about him because we know what Jello does. We'll talk about LJ Figueroa and Ty-Shon Alexander together. So neither one of them shot how they usually shoot, and by usually I just mean like the first two Summer League games. But the way they were able to control the tempo on offense and defense was great to me. They both stayed in front of their guys. They both were playing really good defense. And while the numbers may not show it, they both had a very big impact on this game. So you had LJ Figueroa, who's able to create general dribble penetration, find the open guy. He was able to hype guys up, calm guys down. Same with Ty-Shon Alexander. There were plenty of times where the offense was moving a little too fast for everybody, and Ty-Shon Alexander was able to slow it down. And those are kind of things we need. And it's just like I said, you're getting to the point where everybody, this could be an anomaly, right? This could be just the one game where everybody plays well. But everybody has traits that the Hornets need, so it's going to be really hard for them to pick and choose who deserves to make the roster. But guys like Ty-Shon Alexander and LJ Figueroa are guys that you want on a team where they're not scoring like how they usually do, but they still had a pretty big impact on the game. You want players like that who, just because they're not having the best night statistically, that doesn't mean that their force isn't, apparent on the floor. Like, look at Draymond. I'm not comparing him to Draymond at all, but he's one of the main players at that, where if he's not, Draymond doesn't score 10 points a game, but he does everything else so well. And like I said, I'm not comparing these guys to Draymond at all, but I'm saying look how far Draymond got by being that kind of guy. Not everybody needs to be an efficient scorer. And I'm not saying those guys won't be efficient scorers, because they were in the past, the last two games. But I'm just saying in this game, they showed that they can do more than just score. So I really appreciate that. And Brady Manick, once again, he can just shoot. I don't know where he would go because he definitely has a lot of work to do on the defensive side of the ball. He's actually not that I wouldn't say a ball handler. He just doesn't turn it over while dribbling, but he has a little bit to go on that. Like, he could be a better passer because he made some mistakes. And the whole team early in the game was making some mistakes, passing the ball with some turnovers and things like that. But it's Summer League. I wasn't tripping over that. But Brady Manick can shoot the lights out. He just needs to work on his defense a little bit because he is not the biggest guy, so it's not like he's ever going to be put in on a center. He's more likely going to get put on a forward. In this day and age, a forward is like Tobias Harris, so I wouldn't feel comfortable at all having Brady Manick guard a forward. You might could try to hide him, but that's a whole nother story. But Brady Manick definitely can shoot the lights out. Wouldn't be surprised, even if it's not with the Hornets, he ends up with somebody just because, like I said, he can shoot the ball, and he's a smart player. JT Thor, he looked a little lost out there on defense. There was a couple of times where he just, forgot to switch, and these are things we're talking about, the mental lapses. Now, he would try to close out, but he still got confused. But at Summer League, at the end of the day, and JT Thor is also very young. However, it's just like you do want to see him get better, because when he is on somebody on defensively at least, it's not like they're just going to score. JT Thor is a really good defender, so when he gets lost, you lose that, because he's that good of a defender, and you miss out on that. But on offense, he has no offensive game besides the corner threes, like the catch and shoot corner threes, which that's fine. Like, you're young, like, that's fine. If you can master that, PJ Tucker has made a long career off doing it. And once again, when I make these comparisons, I'm not doing it to say they're going to be this player. It's just, you know, it's easy for me to compare them and then everybody know who I'm talking about. But yeah, PJ Tucker has made a long career doing just that. So JT Thor, if that's how you want to go ahead and develop your game early, because I still think you're only like 19, then by all means do that, because you're doing a great job. And then Jalen Crutcher, I know I get on Jalen Crutcher a lot. He still had some bad plays. He might try 2-guard because he was shooting pretty well, and he actually was, you know, making some assists out there. So he looked good as well. And I think that's everybody. Let me check my phone real quick and see if that's everybody. But I think that's everybody. Everybody played very well, and I'm not mad at it at all. Like, I'm just glad to see how they just hustled on both sides of the ball, had intensity. And I know I brought up in previous video how, like, oh, the Pacers were jumping up and down. The Hornets didn't do that, but they were playing hard, and that's all I asked for. And look how it turned out. That they were playing hard, and then everybody else ended up playing very well. And I think I talked about everybody. So once again, big shout outs to Kai Jones, Mark Williams, and Bryce McGowens, especially just because those are guys that we were looking at that, you know, we want to see more of Mark Williams and Bryce McGowens just because they're the rookies. And then everybody just loves Kai Jones, so of course we want to see Kai Jones doing well. But the whole team did very well. They didn't let themselves, like, they were down a couple of times, but not a lot, but just down by a little bit. And they didn't let that stop them. Like, you know, like in the first game, they were kind of just down and out and really stopped playing. Well, they didn't do that these last 2 games, especially this game. I really like how everybody was playing. They were playing great. It's hard to pick like a favorite, like especially after a game like this. Like I said, this could be an anomaly, and we're back talking. But this was a really good game. I'm proud of everybody. It's good to, like I said, one takeaway I'll take from this game is that everybody did what they normally do well. Like, you know, I know I talked about Ty-Shon Alexander and LJ Figueroa, how they didn't score like they usually do, but that's the side of the game we kind of want to see, is like, what else can they do? And they showed us what else they could do. But everybody else, to, you know, top of my head, they did what they normally do. JT Thor was a really good defender. Kai Jones was super athletic. Mark Williams was a really good defender and finishing very well under the rim. And Bryce McGowens is a bucket. Same was Jello, who can shoot, along with Brady Manning. So everybody did exactly what they do well, and that's all we want to see, is like in summer league especially, just show me what you do well, you know, and just show me how good you are at it. We can develop the rest of the game later. It's just summer league, and y'all have like a couple of days to practice. So you know, intensity and just play to your strengths, and they did exactly that today, and they won. Win is not everything, and I also missed like the last 5 minutes of the game because I was recording. So if something happened, I kind of don't know what happened. They won the game though, I saw that. But anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna have a video tomorrow. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but I'm almost at 200 subscribers. That before August, which is insane. So let's go ahead and get that. I'm at like 192 or something. So let's go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you don't mind, and comment. I respond to every comment. Like I said, this is a community of people who love basketball, you know, and we just also so happen to like the Charlotte Hornets. So go ahead and comment. Let's have a discussion and talk about the team. Anyway, that does it for this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.